Hey everybody, press pause, and go to iTunes and leave a review for Trust and Believe. That is with a please, because I'm really on a path to really try and help people trust and believe in who they are, and it all stemmed from my own personal struggles. So, go leave a review, tell your friends. Maybe it's not something you need to listen to every day, but every week. So please leave a review. Let's get the word out about Trust and Believe so people can trust and believe in who they are.
Previously on Trust and Believe.
Can I get a level?
Mic check, 1, 2.
See, I knew if he started it. Right?
That was good.
And now, Sean T's Trust and Believe.
This week we're continuing the message, Spring Cleaning for Your Soul. I did want to preface that this episode I go a little deeper into being sexually abused. So, if you're listening with children, I would really appreciate if you didn't listen to that section. Otherwise, continue to trust and believe and continue to know that you are worth every ounce of who you are and continue to strive. Enjoy the show.
Here we go. Come on, y'all.
If we can just inspire ourselves and inspire other people to believe in themselves, the as that you have will become secondary and the life that you live will become number one.
You have helped fitness become a lifestyle.
You have the power and you can do it.
Come on, y'all.
I'm saying, hell yeah. For real? Yeah. Oh.
This is Sean T, and it's time to trust and believe.
Like, I'm not speaking to try to make a point. Like, this is not what I'm doing. This is not what I do day in and day out. I never speak to try and make a point. There's not ever a time, even in a deep debate, that I'm speaking to try and make a point. Because I am constantly, 100%, speaking from the core of who I am. Like, that's it. It doesn't come out any other way. Yes, when I'm having fun, you're telling jokes and you just like kicking it and having a good time. Absolutely. You just, it's fun and you're having a good time with your friends, and we all need that space to relax and chill. But whenever I step in a room or whenever I'm talking to somebody about something, because I try not to have pointless conversation anyway, this is coming from the core of who I am. Like, I just don't have the time. And I know people hear me say that all the time, but like, the words that come out of my mouth, look, I've been through way too much pain to try and mask anything. And when I'm going through pain, and even in today's time, because no one's perfect, even when I'm going through today's pain, like, I'm connected to the pain. Like, I used to tell Scott when we first got together, and I was going through a lot. He's so loving and caring that he would be like, but you shouldn't feel that way. And I'm like, no, I like to feel what I'm going through. Because when I was getting molested, if I was like, I don't want to feel this way, then I would have never dealt with it, and I wouldn't be here where I am today. I'm like, I need to feel this way because I felt it and it felt good. And then it felt bad because I felt guilty. And every time I had a feeling, I connected to the feeling. So when I became an adult and I started to teach classes and started to motivate people, it wasn't coming from a place of how can I never had to ask the question, how can I motivate somebody? Like, I never needed to ask that question. I never had to go to my grandfather and say, how can I? No, because I had to motivate myself. You know what I'm saying? So when I see people, and I always say, like, I'm telling y'all, like, this whole exercise thing, like, it's great. Like, I really want you to lose weight, and I really want you to feel good about who you are, and I really want you to fit into those jeans. But let me tell you something. When I'm teaching a class, I can care less about the push-up. I don't care. I don't care about the ski ab. Like, you know, in Insanity, we have the fit test. And I really don't care how many reps you do, but are you doing those reps and feeling good about the progress? Because, you know, people would say, you know, Shanti, I beat whoever is in the fit test. Like, I beat this person. I'm like, and? Right. I'm like, but you're the one. But if at any point in this life, besides, you know, competition and sports, you know, that's a whole nother mentality. But at any point in this life, in your day to day, when you wake up and you go to work, if there's anyone that you cross paths with that you are competing with, then let me tell you something. You're on a constant path of loss. Right. And each time you think about wanting to compete with somebody else and who has the better dress and who has the better shoes and who has the bigger biceps, you are constantly, you're losing. You're losing and you're going backwards. And so that's why exercise to me it is amazing, but it's only amazing as if every second, or at least you try to every second believe that in this moment, I believe that I can do it. You know, like when I was sitting in that bed at night at 2:00 in the morning and I felt this hand, you know, starting to caress my butt, you know what I mean? Like I had to literally be like, can I get through this? Like, can I get through? Like, how do I get through this? What, like every second, every second I'm like, okay, I gotta get through this. Great. Like you made it through this second. Okay, great. Now how we get through the next second? Okay, now it's time for me to turn over. Okay, now I got to turn over. Okay, now, all right, I made it. Like I was able to turn over. Like I did it. Like it's good. Like I'm here. Like I'm here now. And then, okay, now, yes, like this person is going to start to perform oral sex on me. Like I'm 9. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, like I feel that wet feeling down there. Okay, how can I get through this? Okay, you have to make sure this feels good in order for you to move through it, right? Like, okay, I got through that second. Okay, I didn't know how to have an orgasm. Like, I didn't know. Like, I didn't know what this was. There was nothing coming out. But I was able to finish whatever that was. And I was like, okay, you know, okay. Like, I got there. Okay, I know this is almost over. Like, I know it's almost over. And then it disappears. And then you're like, okay, cool. Like, I got through this. Like, this is great. You know, like on the outside in, you're thinking like, no, this isn't great. Like, that's not great. That's not great. No, it's great. It's great because I got through it this time. Like, this is good. Like, I'm like, okay, good. I got through it this time. And then everything fades into the background. And then because I connected to the moments, then I'm able to go back to sleep and not keep myself awake so that I'm falling asleep in school because I was expected to make the honor roll. Like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, so through pain, that's why it's like, it's not about the push-up. It's like, do you know that you can do it? Like, do you know that you can get through it? And that's why it's like, you know, you can't look to the left and right and be like, okay, if they can, like, am I doing better than them? You know what I'm saying? Because they don't matter. Like, they don't have your body. Like, they haven't been through the things you've been through, and they can't fix the things you've been through. Like, yes, you can have people assist, but at the end of the day, your feelings, your emotions, your thoughts, your belief, and your trust that you can actually make it to wherever the next second is has to be within you, because I can trust you, I can love you, I can give you the food, I can give you the tools, but let me tell you something. Like, if there's any doubt in your mind that it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen. So you have to connect to the moment. You have to connect to now. Like, how are you moving forward? And so, I mean, at the end of the day, like, this is why I do what I do. So for everybody out there who knows me to be the great fitness instructor, I'm like, great. Like, I am so happy for you, and I'm so happy for me, and I'm so happy we found a connection. But let me tell you something. Like, that was just a way for me to continue to be able to motivate, to speak, to say, I know you can do this, because let me tell you something, I did it. That's why I tell people, like, I'm not a product. Like, I'm not, like, it doesn't, like, if someone's like, no, you can never do a program again, like, that doesn't scare me. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not why I did this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not why I began to do this. That's not why I started to make, like, when I was approached to make videos and videos only, my whole entire thing was like, how can I find a way to help people trust and believe? And it started with Hip Hop Abs, and I'm like, tilt, tuck, and tighten, let's get it. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it. Because every 8 count, every beat, you're finding a way to get through it. And then it was Rockin' Body, and then it was Insanity, you know, and then it was the next one, and then the next one, and the next one. But I'm like, look, like outside of that, you know, everything that, you know, I get involved in, it's like always trying to find a message. Like I find a message, like I partner with Core Power. You know, it didn't give me an allergy, so I'm like, cool, I can do this. But it was about the core. Like, yes, everything comes from the core of who you are. And if this thing gives you power and you believe it, then let's go. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I guess at the end of the day, it's like you have to make every second count. Yeah. Because when you lose a second, you lose a second. And, you know, and it's okay. Like, it's fine to lose a second because sometimes you skip over a second. But don't let too many seconds go by. And if you did let too many seconds go by, like if you are today, like right now, like you let seconds go by and that's why you gained the 50 pounds, guess what? I have the best news for you. This is the best thing you'll ever hear. Like seriously, this is the best. You got seconds starting right now.
Right.
Because harping on the past, you keep harping on the past, you're going to stay in the past. And if you stay in the past, you'll never move forward. And if you can never move forward, you're always going to go backwards. And in the world of fitness, you're always going to gain weight. So you have to move forward. You have to know that you can do it. You have to connect to who you are. And just if, for 1 second, you have a slither of belief. Like, you know, like if you're trying to make fire, you ever watch Survivor and they're trying to make fire and you're watching this show and they're like, and you see a spark and you're like, oh my God, like, you know, cause in the last episode I saw this girl was like making a fire and she went 5 hours and by and homegirl never gave up. She never gave up and she eventually made the fire. But the way they edit it is like you see her, you know, she gets a spark, she tries to blow it. She gets a spark, she tries to blow it. But she never gave up. And all of those sparks create fire. And the fire is within you. And the fire that's in you is just like the core of the earth because the core of the earth is hot. And we would not be able to breathe, to rotate without the core of the earth, and that's the fire of the earth and the fire of the sun that's given us the heat to continue to move forward. So find the core of who you are. And like I always say, trust and believe.
Sean T's Trust and Believe will be right back.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Exciting news. T is for Transformation. My first book is now available for pre-sale at SeanTFitness.com/book. You know, 10 years ago when I came out with Hip Hop Abs, my 3 T's were tilt, tuck, and tighten. And today, 10 years later, I can now say that my 3 T's are truth, trust, and transparency. And when you have truth, trust, and transparency, you can achieve your transformation. So go pre-order your book today at SeanTFitness.com/book, and I will let you know when I'm on my book tour in a city near you. And as I always say, trust and believe in who you are. Again, go to SeanTFitness.com/book to pre-order yours today.
So first of all, this is crazy what you're saying, right? Because this is a crazy philosophy to me. The idea that you have seconds. Even though you messed up or you stopped or you didn't continue with something, you have a second try. You have seconds. And every second that you make it to the next second counts. There's some merit in that. There's some merit in you sticking with the next second, sticking with it to the next. You know what I'm saying? Like, stay with it. You can make it through. You can pull through. That's such a great message. I think it might be one of the most important messages. It really is. Because if you can find the strength to just make it to the next level, keep going, keep moving, keep pushing, persisting, reaching for that goal, like, you're right. You can, once you convince yourself, once you have it in your mind that you can make it to the next level, like, come on. Like, who's stopping you? Who's telling you no? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy.
When the past has no weight on you, that's when you're weightless. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
When the past means nothing to you but the past, then you can just move forward. You can just fly. You can just move. If you weighing yourself down based off of the past, then you're never going to move. But like if it's just the past and that's what it is, and everything is focused on the next step, the next movement, the next second, whatever it may be.
It's almost like, is your past an anchor or is your past helium, right? Because an anchor is going to drag you down and helium lets you float. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yes, it happened. It happened. So? What you gonna do? You know, it's like what you gonna do? Like, I don't, because I was molested or whatever, and I talk about it, but it's so strong for me because it was the beginning, but it doesn't bring me down anymore, right? It doesn't bring me down anymore because I'm just like, I had to come to terms with, like, it happened. It happened.
I love that your bravery in that moment as a 9-year-old, you said? When you were like, first of all, you're 8, 9 years old, and you had the wherewithal to even figure out, like, right then and there, you can either not face this issue or what's happening right here in this moment and just shut yourself down and effectively build a shell around yourself or a wall. Put up that first wall. You decided, nope, I'm not going to put up any walls. I'm going to look this monster in the face. I'm going to look this issue right in the face, deal with it right now. I'm not going to wait till tomorrow morning when I'm in class and I'm sleepy and I can't figure stuff out because too much time has gone by and I built up this wall. And by the time another week goes by and another month and then another year, and then you have, issues and, all kinds of like issues with yourself. You don't even know how to like repair yourself or pull yourself out of this muddy thought process. You decided in that moment to look it in its face and say, wait, this is happening right now. And you're going to enjoy it for what it's worth. The good, the bad, the ugly, you were present. And that is the craziest because you're so young and you had the wherewithal to figure that out right there in the moment. I think that's amazing. I think that's something worth noting. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy.
I agree.
All right.
I think that serves as a great example of people who might have been through worse or not as bad in their minds, but to you it's just something, and that's what you don't. It's the same. It's the same thing of saying everyone's on their own track. It's like whatever you've been through. This holding the mic is crazy. Whatever you've been through is like what you've been through, but it doesn't. It's your own path. You shouldn't compare it to anybody else's difficulties or issues that they've had because it's only yours. You're the only one who's ever had it. So the only thing you have to compare it to is yourself.
I mean, you're the only one. Like, you're the only one. And I'm not saying you're the only one. It's like, there's groups and stuff for people maybe like me or like you or whoever that you've been through, like people who have been raped, or, they have groups for people who are obese, or they have groups for people who are depressed. They have groups. It's great. It's amazing. Like, support systems are amazing. That's why I always say you are the average of the 5 closest people to you because, that's just it. Because that's the conversation that you're having. So it's great. I mean, it's amazing to have groups, but at the end of the day, and I don't mean to sound like, oh my gosh, look, I'm just going to keep it real. At the end of the day, it comes down to you. And how much are you fueling your soul to be able to get through it? And so it's not a point at which, I'm bragging because, some people are like, well, you make it sound so easy. I'm like, no, like it wasn't easy. It's not like that it was easy. I mean, it was painful along the way. But in order to understand what was happening, I had to connect to the pain. You know what I mean? So if you're listening to this and you never connected to the pain, you need to connect to the pain. You need to connect to it. You need to connect to it. You need to face it, because running away from it, look, because if you run away from it, it's always going to be there because it's always going to be chasing you. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, imagine yourself on a dark street and somebody's chasing you that you know that can hurt you. But this street never ends, right? Imagine you in this dark street, like daytime doesn't exist in this space, and you are exhausted. Like, you are so exhausted, and you're running from this person or this thing or this animal that's chasing you. You know what I mean? Like, imagine you in that space. Like, it's like a nightmare. You just like, it's never ending. Like, unless you turn around and you face it to find out what the hell is going to happen. Because the thing that you're running from in your life, the point is, you already had the strength to get a little bit past it. So how about you face it, revisit it, so that you can beat it? And find out, like, what? You know, like, look at it, and, like, what? So, yeah, I gained 50 pounds, and so face the 50 pounds. Like, let's go. Because the only way you're going to find out if this nightmare, if this chase can become daylight and breathing and air, you know, sunshine, is if you face it and get rid of what's chasing you. Because I'm telling you right now, if you turn around and you face it and you go after it and you go after the feeling and you go in the trenches of what it was like so that you can face it, to feel it, to get out of it, once you turn around and start moving forward, it's no longer going to be a dark street. Like, the dark street's not going to exist, because guess what? You ain't being chased. Now you're using the strength from the thing that was chasing you to move forward. And now you have power. You have power to face the next thing.
Oh my God.
You now have power to face the next challenge. So don't be afraid of what happened. Face what happened. If you never admitted that it happened, it's time to admit that it happened. And if it happened to you and you know, time just flew by, I can't believe this happened. Well, believe it. Believe it. Because the reality is right now, so you have to believe it. But what you have to understand is that you can do it. You can get through it. You can get out of that marriage. If you are at that point where it's just like, you know, some people are like, I don't condone divorce. Well, guess what? I condone safety. And I condone living. You know what I mean? So come on. Like, let's go. Let's go.
It's true.
You know?
It's true. I think there are so many barriers and things and goals that we as people want to attain. You know what I mean? Getting out of a job that's got them stuck. Or if you always wanted to, you know, achieve some type of like goal about yourself, not just physically, just like, you know what I mean? Like monetarily or like emotionally with a kid or with a relative or whatever the case is, like, and you're scared for whatever reason. Get down to the core of it and just figure it out. Face that pain. Be energized by whatever it is that's making you anxious, and turn that anxious energy into something powerful. Let it charge you in a positive way.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't it that 9 times out of 10 the pain is not nearly as bad as what you think it is?
Because when you think of something that doesn't exist in time, you always emphasize it by like 1,000.
Yeah. When you don't know, that's when it's scary.
Right. When you don't know. Because, you know, fear of the unknown is strong.
Yeah.
But what we're talking about is unknown things that you actually know. You just act like you don't know, or you're running away from it.
Yeah.
And so what you don't know is like, how is this going to turn out? Well, guess what? If you never face it, you'll never find out, and you're constantly going to be running down that dark road. So let's get light.
Let's get it. Let's get light.
Let's get light. Let's get helium. Let's fly. Let's use it. Let's breathe and continue to live. You know what I'm saying? So, but in order to continue to live, you have to trust and believe in who you are.
This is so. This is how I started. It is a little crazy to me because it's kind of surreal to me how brutal and transparent and honest this discussion is, because I feel like a lot of people they always waste time like dressing it up and trying to like, you know what I'm saying? But like you're hitting this subject right on the head. You're not even like, you know what I'm saying? Like this, it's so, and it's refreshing to me because I think a lot of people need to hear this message delivered this way. Like who the hell has time for all of this? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, let's just cut to the core.
I'm shaking my head because
right. They can't see right now because you shaking your head, but it's like, it's real. Like, cut to the core. Like, this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? You're really naming it. You're calling it for what it is right there on the spot. Like, no holds barred.
Because
like,
it is what it is. I mean, it is what it is. There's nothing more really to add to that except for right now. Right now, somebody or somebody's are sitting here listening to this and thinking, how do I even begin to attack the problem? You may have heard me talk about it before, but life is like a relay race. And we talk about those baton passes in a relay race where you have to reach back in order to pull the person before you through when they start to get tired, and it's to help you gain momentum because they push you through. But today, let's talk about you just being able to reach back to yourself at this moment to be like, this is what it is. And if for some reason you were in the race and you stopped and you had a halt or you pulled a hamstring, well, the only way to move forward is to heal yourself. And now you are forced to reach back to the previous you and really pull yourself through. I mean, that's what it's about here. It's not about giving up. It's not about thinking you're better than and believing that you don't even have to realize what has been painful. Because that pain in your side is only going to go away if you reach back and heal it. I want to give a huge shout out to Todd Midget, aka NC Fit Club on Instagram, Alex Coloreo, my lovely production manager. They do a great job with loving up on the podcast and making sure that it gets out to you so that we can all stay motivated and relevant. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome.
Check, 1, 2, 3, check.
For more support, visit me at facebook.com/Sean T Fitness. Same on Instagram and Twitter. Or visit me at SeanTFitness.com for more support and more motivation.